Welcome to another episode of Shots from the Winchester Podcast. I'm your host, Al Green. Shots from the Winchester Podcast is brought to you by Greencastle Consulting. We're out here in Malvern. On September 16th, we're going to have an event here called Vetfest. It'll be the second annual Vetfest that we have, and Rick Pennycuick is actually going to be one of our vendors here. And Rick, tell us just real briefly before we get into anything else, just tell us a little bit about AC2G and what you're going to be doing at Vetfest.
So AC2G is a clever acronym that stands for Alpha Company Custom Gunsmithing.
Nice.
So we are classically trained gunsmiths. My partner and I were in the gunsmithing school together. It was specifically the Pennsylvania Gunsmithing School out near Pittsburgh. Young man turned 21, I turned 61. I've retired twice, so we started our own company as soon as we graduated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about retirement, this is another thing. You had an entire career in the Army.
Yes.
Let's talk. So since this is a veteran audience, for one,
right.
and we're a veteran-owned and operated business, we love to talk about military career. So tell us a little bit about your experience there, and thank you for your service.
Well, and thank you. I know I'm talking to another Army guy. So yes, I actually joined the Army Reserve while I was in college to help pay for college. There was a field artillery unit that I could catch a ride with some friends to the field artillery unit for the last couple of years of my college career. Then I graduated from school and was a regular Army officer in the infantry.
Oh, wow.
That was fun. So much so that as soon as I could, I went to the helicopter school and joined the aviation branch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So most of my line service, line type units were in aviation units.
Oh, wow. So helicopters. So you're familiar with like the Chinooks and things like that. You've flown them or worked on them?
So I was trained as a pilot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So was checked out in the UH-1, the Hueys, a couple of the different types of OH-58s.
Wow. Okay.
The Cobra helicopters, and then later on, the last one I flew was the Apache. AH-64s.
Wow. Okay, nice. Wow.
Yep. So the first 15 or so years of my career was inland line units, companies, battalions, brigades, and then after that, switched over into a completely different field, acquisition. The acquisition systems with the Army. So I've done program management, contracting, the procurement contracting, and my some staff time at different headquarters, like the Pentagon. That was fun. And then the last posting we had was doing research and development type work in Europe. So we were based in the UK for a while.
Oh, wow. Wow. You had some good fun out there, I'm sure.
We had a great time. I might have a family connection if I can mention it here to Greencastle. My daughter works here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Erica. Yes. She attended, as well as my other daughter, and graduated from high school while we were in London.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine the education is a lot different in London. You don't learn the same things you learn here in America, at least not in the same direction.
Maybe not in the same direction.
Yeah.
I'd refer to my daughters for their specific opinions of that, but yeah. So they were American curriculum schools, so obviously so they could further their education.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And so how long have you been retired?
So we retired, both my wife and I served, and we retired at a dual ceremony in London in 2010.
Wow, okay.
So it's been a while.
Nice. Wow, and then once you got out of that, there's another thing. So a lot of people here, some of them are active duty, trying to figure out how to transition out of their service into a civilian position. So you moved out of that and into a corporate world.
Absolutely. So I was fortunate enough, I did a brief stint in Picatinny Arsenal working for a company. It was a research and development based company. And then had an opportunity to take a full-time job with Alcoa. So Alcoa, the aluminum company of America, had formed a defense business, so a subordinate business that was wholly aligned. And anyway, they hired me, some Navy fellows as well, and we would do their business development to make the community of the Department of Defense, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines more aware of the metal offerings that were coming and what they could be used for. So in 2011, when we joined, and you know what was happening in Iraq and Afghanistan during the 2000s. Having different types of metals for protection as well as strength and the service, that was very important. So we had a lot of work for about 8 years.
Nice.
And then the company went a different direction. So I was then unemployed and went to school at the Pennsylvania Gunsmith School after that for a new and third career.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that you're reinventing yourself. You're constantly inventing yourself. You're moving from one thing. You realize, hey, you know what? This was okay, but I want to try something new. I think that's awesome. I think that people, especially as we get older, as we go through our careers and things like that, we want to recognize purpose. We want to have purpose, and finding that purpose and not just going stagnant. I think that's awesome that you continue to find something else to do.
That's a lot of that is personal,
your
personal makeup, but a lot of it, I think, it comes as we service people know. You're continually educating, you're continually getting new jobs.
Right.
You might be in the same field when you're in the military, but when you get a new job, you have a new job.
Right.
So you are, in fact, every 2-3 years, kind of reinventing yourself to make sure you can perform at that level.
That makes sense. I mean, when I was in the Army, I was a 52 Delta. I don't know if you still call it that, but a generator mechanic. While I was in my permanent duty station, it was in Fort Hood, Texas.
Right.
I became a Foxtrot fuel handler.
Right.
I also became a small wheel vehicle mechanic handler, so I was working on Humvees.
Sure.
So I did like a multitude
Right.
of different tasks, not just the one thing. Yeah.
Like I said, you get good at learning new things.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and you end up honing a lot of the skills of what you're already doing too, which is an interesting fact.
Did you spend any time at the Army airfields at Fort Hood?
Actually, I ended up when I was in Bosnia for a short stint, so I ended up in the airfields there.
Sure.
We're at in Tuzla.
Tuzla.
Yeah.
What year?
99.
Okay, I was there in 96, 97.
Oh, okay. So you were there during the
all the fun.
Yeah. I was there for the most part 6 months towards the end of the S4 system situation there. Did a transition with 10th Mountain.
Okay.
We were 1st Cav Division.
Sure.
So got a chance to drive through Sarajevo, see some of the old battle damage from some of the things where the old stadium used to be, where they did the Olympics there in the early 80s. All just ravaged, So it's interesting time. I love the experience that I had in the military for that, because you just don't get that. People don't travel to Sarajevo.
No.
It's not a vacation spot.
No. Or it wasn't back then. Maybe it is now.
Maybe now, yeah. So what made you think gunsmithing?
Well, I grew up in rural Missouri for the most part.
Oh, okay.
So my grandfather had a 1,000-acre cattle farm.
Wow.
So there was plenty of room when you weren't working to go out and strap on a rifle, shotgun, whatever, and go hunting or fishing.
Yeah.
So I did that as early, and then 30 years in the military. I didn't do much with weapons other than the service-issued things.
Yeah.
But I was always interested in how do those things work.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to go to, what was it? The Civilian Marksmanship Program. It's a congressionally authorized organization that sells older military weapons. So now, and they've sold Garands. I think they still sell Garands, M1s, rifles, etc. So I won a lottery to go build your own Garand under direction of a team of gunsmiths.
Wow.
So I did that while I was still working for Alcoa over a long weekend, and it was like, okay, I'm hooked.
Nice. Yeah.
I have to find a place to get me more than a weekend of training.
Right.
So that's did the research on where they were at. I was in and out of Pittsburgh a lot for my job with Alcoa. Part of their headquarters was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I was able to go take a tour of the Pennsylvania Gunsmith School, and when fate happened and that job ended, it was pretty easy to make the switch over to the school.
Transition. You were already working your way through that, and that's a good look.
Yeah, making the contacts. Contacts are important.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, definitely. And so you've had your company now for a few years?
A couple years now.
Yeah.
We are closing in. Next month is officially our second year.
Nice.
Yeah, so I looked it up today before we came over.
Yeah.
So I just finished my 463rd estimate for firearms work.
Wow.
That's not bad for 2 years.
That's not bad.
Going from completely unknown
Yeah.
to now we have repeat customers, which is very nice.
That is a good look, yes.
And that makes you understand that not only are you proud of your work, but others are proud of your work because they're bringing you more.
Yeah.
Not everybody is a firearms person.
Yeah.
But that's okay. The folks that know and want to have things, family heirlooms worked on, we actually get quite a bit of that in this area. So the southeastern Pennsylvania area, we go to some of the gun shows in the area. We do our marketing. I've got my flyers, my handouts, our marketing experts. and we don't sell a lot of firearms, although our license allows us to do that.
Oh, okay.
We do a lot of outreach, marketing, and the customers then come to our shop and we either restore firearms, repair woodworking, put new wood on. We can make stocks by hand. We can take 80% stocks and fix them up. I should have brought some of my wood stock stuff in here, but I wasn't sure if I could. But anyway, I'll send you some pictures. Pictures say 1,000 words.
Absolutely,
So we do before and after pictures of just how damaged some things are, and then to let you hold the end result after it's been repaired that gets us a lot of business.
That's a beautiful thing because like I know I also grew up hunting, fishing, doing a lot of things like that. One of my first weapons was a 20 gauge shotgun that I called Bobby Joe.
You know it. Right.
Into the base there, you know. And they have the plug in them, so you can only put like 3 rounds in at a time in a shotgun shell.
Sure.
But my next one was a 12 gauge shotgun, and you know, you want to keep them clean. You want to do these things, but sometimes they end up in an attic. Sometimes they end up in a basement or something like that, and they start to get tarnished, or they start to you don't want to shoot that. You want to get it cleaned. You want to get it serviced. You want to make sure that it works before you go put it out there.
Correct.
So that's the kind of service that you can provide for someone.
We absolutely do that for people every year.
That's amazing.
And sometimes it's not just, this was in my closet from last year and I forgot to clean it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, this has been in our water damaged basement for 30 years.
Wow,
can you help me?
Yeah, it comes like mold everywhere.
Mold and rust, and we've done a little bit of everything. That's the restoration work. That's what I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
My partner is more of a very skilled mechanic, so he does a lot of the barrel turning. We have a metal lathe, full up brand new metal lathe. Wow. So you spin that thing, he cuts threads, he rechambers, recalibers
that's
rifles.
Really cool.
I let him do that part. I was trained in it, but he's really good at it.
Well, you know, work your strengths.
That's
it.
That's it.
If it needs that kind of repair, then you bring it to you and you make it look beautiful.
I try.
That's great. So you've got access to different types of woods also, I would assume, then, to make that work?
Part of the fun aspect of having gone to a full-time gunsmith school is we have a network.
Oh yeah, of course.
We have a network of fellas that only do the wood. We have another group that went to work for a custom holster making outfit. Wow. We have guys that do Cerakote, that only do the Cerakote coatings. We do all of that.
Wow.
We have our hand in a lot of things. But if we need to buy and purchase different items, we know where some specialty guys are. Wow. Matter of fact, just this last weekend, my partner drove out some shotgun barrels for specialty threading to one of our fellow classmates out in York.
Nice.
So it is a very interesting network when you get it set up.
Yeah, I'd imagine also, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I also imagine that people might want to upgrade their weapons or customize.
Absolutely.
To do, maybe they like the weapon that they bought, but maybe they didn't like the handle. Maybe they wanted a pearl handle. Maybe they wanted something a little different.
Whatever you want, within the safety bounds,
right.
We'll help you with that. And that's what we've done.
That's really good.
To
that's
include
really cool.
custom builds.
Yeah.
If somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I really like that up on your wall. Is that for sale?" No, that's up there for you to say that question, or ask that question. So then we can start the conversation about, what do you want in a rifle?
Yeah.
Do you have a specific caliber or a use in mind? So we have a conversation. And then we go from the conversation to paper and design it with the input from the individual. And we turn that around for them in a month or so.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. And
That's
I love
fun.
that for you, because especially coming from the career that you had to now, and you're making it work, and it's growing.
It is.
And
it
you're
is
going to
growing.
be at Vetfest.
Yes.
And again, Vetfest is September 16th here in Malvern, where Greencastle is located. And it's going to be an amazing event this year. Again, it's second annual. You guys are going to be set up there. So definitely make sure you check these guys out, because especially if you've got a need for anything like this, or maybe just because you've heard this conversation that we've had, now you're thinking about it. They're going to be there. Definitely pick up their cards. How can people find you online?
So we're at alphacompanycustomgunsmithing.com, and we have a Facebook page, and we're on Instagram. So and Google Business, as a matter of fact. We've had a lot of people come in. My daughter, who again is an employee at Greencastle, helped us set all that up because I didn't know how.
Right.
And people are finding us because of that outreach, as well as the person-to-person outreach we do at gun shows.
Nice. That's really cool. Now, one last thing, we typically like to leave people with like a leadership tip of some sort, something that maybe influenced you, or maybe something you think that this audience might be, in tune with, as far as like
this audience. So veteran focused, veteran centric type audience. I was fortunate enough to be a mentor at my time at Alcoa after I retired from the military for folks. If you're looking for another career out there, guys, you got to change. Guys is a generic word, men and women. For all that experience you have in the military, you need to civilianize that somewhat as you're working with a resume. Reach out, find a veteran. There's a lot of us around. We'll help you go through that resume and turn staff sergeant into a motor vehicle repair into what a civilian world wants to see when it's talking about motor vehicle repair.
Right.
Yeah, so the assistance is out there. The other thing is start writing down and understanding who your network really is, because you have one. Everyone has one. Networking is how you get a job. You got to have a good resume. Got to have good papers, etc. Communication skills aren't not well. They're needed. Yeah. Just say good communication skills are needed. Yeah. But your network, write it out. Start writing it out like a big Venn diagram gone wrong. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters that you do it.
Right.
And then start doing more outreach with more of your fellow veterans. That will lead you to folks that aren't veterans and people that are in the industry area that you're interested in learning about or working in.
Yeah, that's smart. That's really smart. It's also like when you said that, learning your resources, learning the people that are around you, making those notes, knowing that they are available to reach out to and ask questions to, and help comes in so many different ways. It could come in just like asking a question and somebody giving you an answer, or it could come in them physically helping you do something. But
Correct.
If you don't do that, if you don't have the contacts, or if you don't recognize your contacts, then you feel alone in the process, and that's nothing you want.
That's not what you want, because you're really never alone out there.
Absolutely,
there are so many of us. It was heartening to see when I stood in that position. I'm retiring now.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I know I'm retiring, but what do I do?
Yeah.
Take advantage of all the courses that military offers, because every service has a preparation for departing the service. They call them different words, but it's a preparation: resume writing, understanding how to dress, how to interview, leverage all those. Leverage all those.
And one of the things that we also have here at Greencastle, which is great, is called a Skill Bridge program.
Okay.
And through the DoD and other situations out there, Skill Bridge is great for people that are transitioning out, to give them some kind of a skill in the corporate world. Like for here, it's consulting, but like the Skill Bridge is a great thing. I didn't have that coming out. I came out in 2000, I should say. Right. And so I'm like, I didn't have a Skill Bridge at that point. I knew what I wanted to do, which is video and stuff. So I already had that planned, and I booked into my school while I was in Bosnia.
Nice.
Yeah, so I set everything up abroad.
You stretched a little bit there too, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Never settle.
Never settle. No, never settle. No. Thank you so much for being on.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Rick Pennycuick. Again, they're going to be here, AC2G. It's going to be here at Vetfest, September 16th, right here in Malvern. Definitely come out. veterans, veterans' families. Everyone is welcome. We want to have hundreds of thousands of people here filling up the whole parking lot. So definitely make sure you come out. Make sure you follow us on our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're also on, obviously, YouTube. So if you're listening to this, you can also watch this on our YouTube channel. We'll see you guys again next week on Tuesday. We upload new episodes every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So take it easy.